You're listening to Passages, a podcast about great quotes, life, and the wisdom of the Bible. And now your hosts, Drew Kaiser, Jason Poyle, and Tim Layton.
Here we are, rock us like a hurricane. We're here. I'm trying out different openings.
Well, in light of the recent week's events, rock us like a hurricane, probably not the best. Yeah, probably not the best of entrances.
My apologies.
It's been
I just had a gaffe.
One of these days, we need to go live on this thing like the Three Stooges, where they go hello, hello, hello.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't have spoiled that.
Yeah.
That would have been great. We'll do that next time.
Yeah, I think
That's a great idea.
I think we could really make quite beautiful harmony there.
Yeah, I kind of want to do it right now.
Oh, I don't think we should do it off the cuff.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll practice.
Yeah.
Then we'll do it.
I mean, I know we could, but I think we should probably, have a dry run before we do it live on the airwaves.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're back, and as always, we have an outstanding program planned for you tonight. We're going to
Each of us only knows 1/3 of it, but
yeah, that's part of the magic. That's the secret sauce here at Passages. And we'll start with our usual segment where we each have a story or something to talk about. And we're going to continue our Bad Preacher segment in the middle and then finally wrap it up with a passage. So, Tim, why don't you get us started?
All right. So for this segment, I want to talk about the election because we can only talk about it in the past tense when we have our next gathering.
That's
here.
right. It's hard to believe.
Right. So
I think we'll still be waiting to know exactly how it plays
that's
out.
true.
When we
it could
meet
still be
next.
in the present tense.
When we meet
that's
again.
an interesting point you make there,
Yeah, I
brother.
hope not.
Been watching polls and trying to think about do any of them have a degree of accuracy, and looking at all the maps that come out that like the one that we'll see on election night that starts popping in once the projections all begin. I think it's pretty interesting if you consider what the election comes down to, right? And so this is no moment of enlightenment for anyone, but it comes down to just a few states. And so it's like out of our 50 states plus the District of Columbia, really about 7 states is what makes the difference. And so, if we all had our coloring sheet, we could color in all the rest of the states right now.
You didn't bring a handout with you?
I should have. I should have brought a coloring sheet and some colored pencils and put y'all to work. But I was doing a little mathing here, and believe me, it based on the map that I was working from, some of the numbers were off, and it messed me up, and it took me a lot longer than I intended to do this. But if you take
well, luckily Eli talks for 45 minutes on Wednesday night, so you had plenty of time to work on it.
I may or may not have been trying to finish my math up as Eli was doing his recap.
Confession time. During the recap.
Well, the recap, you've heard it about 8 times already this quarter.
We'll know if he's a listener
No
very
offense,
soon.
Eli.
We love you, Eli, and we appreciate your recapping. That reinforces what you're teaching. So no shade being thrown there.
No, it didn't sound like that at all.
No, we're not messing with you. We're not giving you a hard time.
All right. So
I need the recap because, sometimes I get here late and I miss it the week before. So.
You get here late sometimes?
I didn't even.
the only
not
part
aware
of
of
that,
that.
the only part of that was surprising is sometimes.
I got here tonight, and I was like, "Where?" Where are all the kids going? They were going to class.
I remember.
I
remember seeing you and hearing the 5-minute bell. That's about the time you got here.
No, I was here before the 5-minute bell tonight. Thank you. Yeah, I can break down the discussion we had tonight early on in class.
But that's not what we're here to talk about.
All right, so back to the election.
Election.
Is my face red?
So if you take basically what Harris has clinched pretty much, she has, if you add in, so I'm adding in New Hampshire for her. New Hampshire, I've seen, is about +6 for Harris. That's enough to
That's outside the margin of error. Yeah.
Hey, if that one flips, that'll be a majoro surpriso, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going with that in the Harris camp. She's got 20 states, and so basically her starting point is 226 electoral votes.
Okay.
She starts at 226.
How many do you have to win?
Got to get to 270.
Okay.
Right? So there are...
I knew that. I was asking that for our listeners.
So the problem I was having was getting to a total of 538 electoral votes. So if it's a dead heat, it's 269 apiece. If you get to 270, you win.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Trump basically begins with 24 states. So he has more states, but he has less electoral votes clinched. Mm-hmm. So from the start, he has 219. So it's very close, 226 to 219. All right. So what you've got left is the 7 states. You've got Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, right? And we've heard plenty about them, and probably for the next week, that'll maybe the only place that either of the candidates appear, right? Is just in a circle of those states over and over again. Now, I think Trump was in Alabama at some point in the last day or two.
Trump has not been following the usual procedure.
Right.
He's going to New York. He's going to New Jersey. He's going to Virginia.
Tonight, he rode to a campaign appearance in a garbage truck.
I saw that.
Wow. How about
So
that?
it would be interesting if he turns a state nobody was expecting. I mean, let's just say New Jersey, which is very unlikely. But if something like that happens, campaigns from this day forward will be totally different.
Yeah.
These states that are usually considered a shoe-in for one side or the other, they'll get a lot more attention, and it won't just be these 7 swing states
right.
every campaign cycle.
And the things that I've read have said, and try to read enough to get a little bit of balance, that Trump has overperformed in the last 2 elections relative to polling. Mm-hmm. So the numbers we talk about here, history would say, will possibly sway.
Underestimate Trump's
will underestimate Trump, possibly. Mm-hmm. Now, the polling, I'm sure they like to be right, so they may have done some correction, but who knows, right? So, as we start here, Harris, from her starting point, with states assumed clinch like New Jersey and like Virginia, which is another one I've heard something weird could happen there.
And I've heard that about New Hampshire too.
And if that happens, or New Hampshire, then things get really tough for her, right? But she starts at 226, which means that she needs 44 electoral votes to get elected. Trump's at 219. He needs 51 to get elected, right? So here's where we are right now. And just based on some general polling data that I saw today, you've got these 7 states, and 5 of the 7 are leaning Trump right now. You got, not by a lot, some by margin of error, right? Which says sort of it could be a wash, right? The closest ones, so Nevada shows Trump by 0.4%, basically a dead heat. Pennsylvania shows Trump by 0.6% in the poll that I looked at. So, those 2, and when it's all said and done, Pennsylvania likely is where it begins and ends, and the reason is Pennsylvania's 19 electoral votes. They're the largest of these groups. And if you think about, as I start, I only need 44 or I need 51.
19 takes out a huge
19 is a huge get, right? Now, also in the mix, there's others that are big, right? So North Carolina and Georgia both have 16, and Michigan has 15. And then it goes, down a little bit from there. Arizona at 11, Wisconsin at 10, and Nevada at 6. So really, any of those swing in the opposite way. So right now, those 2 are the tightest, it looks like, with, Wisconsin shows Harris by 0.7%. So again, sort of a dead heat. Listen, if Trump carries Wisconsin, it's probably over, because that's one of she's got to, so in this list, Trump's up in 5 states, Harris is up in 2 states. She's got to get those 2 states, and she's really got to get something else, right? So if she in the 2 that she's up, Michigan by 1.9%, Wisconsin by 0.7%, that gets her 25. So 44 minus 25 is a very interesting number, 19. So if she gets those 2 and wins Pennsylvania, she wins.
That's what I've heard. They call that the blue belt, those 3 swing states up there that she needs. And the thing that drives me insane is why she didn't pick the Pennsylvania governor as her running mate, Josh Shapiro.
Yeah.
He's a lot better spoken than Tim Walz. He's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
This would be a totally different election if he was her running mate.
And he's not as crazy as Tim Walz.
But he's Jewish.
He is, which would have
helped. And that's the only reason anybody can think of as to why she didn't choose him.
Okay.
Yep.
Which tells you something about her policies.
Yeah. If we play the same game with like where Trump is up right now, Trump's up in 5 of those states. That gets him 17, 19's 36, and 32 is 68. I mean, he's in if he
just
holds serve,
those,
right?
Yeah.
And now he's in by 17, which means that if he wins Pennsylvania, he could lose either North Carolina or Georgia and win.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it just based on that number, that 19
seems like
number,
Pennsylvania is going to be the big one.
It just seems like, and that's the reason they're hanging out there an awful lot.
Yeah,
I feel like he's going to get Pennsylvania and Georgia and North Carolina.
What I saw, he was up by 2 in Georgia and up by 1.4 in North Carolina. I mean, these are all tight, but those are.
But Pennsylvania is margin of error.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is 0.6%. Trump.
Yeah. I have no scientific reason for it. I just feel like the energy is on his side there.
With the history of polls, though, something that I've been watching over the last couple of weeks pretty regularly was where the money line is falling from a Vegas standpoint. Because there is wagers to be made. Not that I'm saying you should go out and gamble and make wagers on this.
But what you are saying is those guys set those lines.
The sharps know their stuff. I mean, if you watch any professional sports and look at the betting lines, those guys in Vegas, the guys in the offshore books, they know their numbers pretty well. They don't miss often, though I'm going to say this to throw a kink into it. They had Hillary Clinton as a minus 316 or 317 going into the 2016 election, which was a major favorite to win, and the books got upset. So you can't always go with the betting and the money lines, but almost every money line I've looked at on the election is leaning towards Trump being favored to win by as much as 65 to 66%. Being favored.
I heard 65%.
And that's interesting to look at that because I don't know. There's 2 things that make me think that a lot of what we hear through the filter of living in Alabama. I think a lot of the energy we hear about is because we live in a fairly red state, a fairly conservative state, and everything is slanted that way here. Now, I think the polling data can be skewed one way or the other, but I read an account on CNN today that said that some pollster came out and said that Harris was outperforming the polls. So who knows? I guess we'll find out next Tuesday, Wednesday,
I
Thursday.
keep thinking about 2022 when we were told there would be a red wave,
and there was not.
There wasn't one.
Not even close.
So the most recent major election
did not turn out the way the pollsters said.
Right.
And so I manage my expectations.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody really knows.
Yep. But, I think the bottom line is make your list of those 7 states, and as they start coming in, it's going to tell us the story.
Yep. And it's a little scary to think about. It's crazy to me that the election almost every year comes down to that group of 7 or 8 states being so close.
There have been a few that have jumped in and out, right? There was a period of time that Ohio was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to be the case. But you're right. There's a core group here. I mean, recently Georgia's jumped in there, right? Historically, Georgia's been quite red.
Yeah.
But not that much.
Texas,
lately.
I could see Texas turning purple.
Yeah, it's going to start swinging
And-
because
and
everybody's moving there from California.
And if that happens, it changes this whole dynamic. Texas has 40 electoral votes. If you put that on the same side with California, you got a big head start coming out of the gate.
Right.
I mean, that's hard to beat there.
I hope that.
And if you throw New York on top of that, which you would, if it becomes if it were to be a blue state,
you're halfway there.
you are in.
You're in a.
But Trump exaggerates, but I believe him when he says he is campaigning for New York. He says this is my state.
He filled Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's 100,000 people there.
That's a big deal.
Of course, Kamala had 75,000 people at the mall in Washington. So she, despite what the critics say, she has shown her ability to draw a crowd.
Oh, but Drew, that's the same people. They've been busting them to every. I'm just sorry.
They came to see Beyonce, and
and she didn't
and
even
she
say
left
talk
before
for
she
2
performed.
minutes. Beyonce.
This stuff is
so
you can nerd out on this stuff really fast, and I'm like you, Tim. I love an election night, even when the candidate I chose is losing. It's just the drama, the excitement.
My hope is that you two fellas will have your phones in hand so that we can have our little group back and forth going that night.
Oh,
absolutely,
it's a guarantee.
Next Tuesday it is. All right, Jason.
All right, so I'm going a different direction tonight. We're going to talk about Halloween, and I'm hoping this will be fun. This may be a one and done that we've ever done this. Okay. I would like to name this section "I Got a Joke" in honor of a former member here that would interrupt the end of class from time to say, oh, I got a joke. And he'd stand up and tell a joke. So what I have done is we're going to have a little competition tonight in honor of it being Halloween tomorrow. Okay. And I really wish I had created a crepuscular environment for us to do this tonight. Dim the room, made it more like Twilight in here just to kind of liven it up for the evening.
Okay.
But I didn't. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Halloween jokes. And I have a number of them. And we're going to see who laughs the most. The winner is the one that laughs the least. So everyone buckle up. Kids, you can tell these to your friends and family tomorrow if you want. If you got the rim shot ready, you're gonna need it.
I got 2 buttons.
Now I'm waiting to watch for the reactions. So the first joke, let's start easy.
And you're saying our goal is not to laugh if possible?
I want to see how many times I can make you laugh. And the one that laughs the most is the easiest laugh.
All right.
And if you at least give me one courtesy laugh, because these are bad. Okay. I mean, these are straight dad jokes.
All right.
What does a ghost's mom say when she gets in the car? Come on, everybody, fasten your seat belts. Get it? Because ghosts are covered with
sheets.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. So how do you mend a broken jack-o'-lantern? With a pumpkin patch. I got a laugh from Tim. Tim's going early. I'm going to get him tonight. All right. What did the man say about the coffin cell? Like a cell, like its own cell. What did the man say about the coffin cell? Well, that's the last thing I need. It's a coffin. It's the last thing. Wow.
It will be the last thing that he needs.
This is going a lot worse than I thought it was going to go.
I'm sure it'll pick up.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
Yeah.
Why are ghosts
to be there?
Why are ghosts so lonely? This is a great question. They got nobody to love. I knew I'd get 10.
All right.
That was a courtesy laugh.
A little bit.
Tim's feeling awkward.
All right. Can I count that one?
That was my joke.
What does the ghost of a panda eat? Bamboo. No,
I give you points for delivery.
I gotta laugh. That was a sympathy laugh, but I'm taking it. Drew's not giving me a lot here. All right.
Drew's showing great restraint.
I don't do a lot of. I don't have a great laugh.
This one will get Drew. I'm sorry. I'm having a blast. So, what do you call a spider with 20 eyes? A spider.
You're really selling it.
You know, just the.
Your performance is great.
So why is the cemetery a great place to write a story? You're a writer. You should get this one.
Great place to write a story.
Yeah.
Does it have something to do with a ghostwriter?
No, it's got so many plots. No?
Okay.
This is maybe the
Cemetery
worst
plot.
segment we've ever had.
You see, Tim, they call the grave sites plots.
And then in a story, also
it has a plot. It follows a plot.
And that's what makes it funny.
This segment is going plop.
Jocularity.
No, this segment is going exactly like I expected it to. That's why I'm sweating. No.
No, that's funny.
Yeah. So what do you get? This is a math joke. What do you get when you divide the circumference of a jack-o'-lantern by its diameter?
Pumpkin pie.
Nailed it. Stepped on my punchline, but he got it.
That's good.
All right, what happens?
You know Tim gets the math stuff.
I know. I knew he would get it. Yeah,
that's my gig.
Yeah. I knew he would get that one. All right, what happens if you forget to pay your exorcist? You get repossessed. No, that's a good one.
Oh, man.
It makes sense, too.
Yeah. So why did Levi's, the company Levi's, stop making pants out of spider silk?
Didn't know they ever did that.
They did, but they had to stop. You know why?
No.
The fly always gets stuck.
You don't want that to happen.
You know, the fly.
XYZ.
Like the zipper, Tim. It's like the zipper.
The fly.
The fly.
Gets
Not like
stuck.
not that fly.
The
but
zipper,
the
Tim.
zipper
Like a fly in a web.
It's a
Yeah.
pun.
Stuck.
This is in honor of Halloween, guys. You don't have much
And this
Halloween
is
spirit.
a whole sheet.
These
No,
are
we're just a couple of
we're only
Halloweenies.
halfway. We're only halfway through. Let's see here.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Are you sure?
All right, here we go.
It feels like we
Oh
have
no,
close to
we're
that.
going all the way through. There's no slowing this down, Tim. This is gonna kill. This will be our most listened to episode.
This one's going to be at the top.
How many skeletons do you have in your closet? None. The bodies haven't decomposed yet. That one's a little dark. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
sounded
That was one of my
nonfiction.
favorites. Yeah. Woo! It gets a little scary.
Serial killer humor.
Yeah. Why did the witch fall off the broom when she got angry? She flew off the handle. Nothing. I can't get anything. All right, we're gonna try a knock joke.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna put this one to you.
All
Tim.
right.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Spell.
Spell who?
WHO. These are slaying
He did it.
Why is that a Halloween joke?
because there's a spell in it.
Oh.
Spell.
Because it said
It's another
so.
pun.
It said so on Country Living Magazine's top 200 Halloween jokes of 2024 and Reader's Digest top. And these are the best, guys.
Those are the best. It's all downhill after this.
Creme de la
I went
creme.
through at least 600 Halloween jokes to get these today, and these are the best. It doesn't get any better than this, okay?
And you're not feeling the love.
Which is why we're gonna stick it out. Why did the ghost cross the road, Tim?
Why did the ghost cross
Oh, he's
the
just
road?
addressing you only, Tim.
He's the only one laughing now. Yeah. He wanted to return to the other side. Get it? Yeah.
Other side. Yeah.
Okay, this one's good. Why
All right.
don't zombies eat clowns? They taste funny. I'm counting that.
I like that one.
That's a good joke.
I'm laughing on the inside.
On the inside.
What do you call identical zombie twins?
I feel like that's one we should figure out.
Yeah. Dead ringers. Because they're a dead ringer for each other. Get it? They look.
Yeah,
and
it
they're
takes a
dead.
lot of thought.
Dead ringers.
Wow.
You see, part of it is just the slowness of my brain this evening.
Yeah, we probably should have done this
I
this
don't know
morning.
if it's that.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm gonna save this one because it's the one we might have to edit out, but I'm gonna save it for the end.
Okay.
What do you call a wolf that meditates?
A wolf that meditates.
Meditating wolf.
Meditating wolf.
Could it be a monk of some kind? It involves a
No, it's
prayer.
it's an aware wolf. An aware wolf. It's self-aware. It
werewolf.
This is getting worse. This is my favorite segment we've ever done. I'm having so much fun.
It's good.
Why did the Scarecrow receive an award? And we're doing Scarecrow because they're fall and seasonal.
Right.
And because it was on the list of 600 jokes I read today in prep for this.
He received an award.
Yeah, why did the Scarecrow receive an award?
For being something in the field, I'm thinking.
Yeah, he was outstanding in his field.
Yeah, there we go.
Good job,
I
Tim.
got a sneer
He gets a
from
point
Drew.
from.
I'm getting a sneer from Drew, so we're counting that. Why do mummies make bad friends? They're always wrapped up in themselves.
Yeah.
Because, mummies, they wrap them.
They're wrapped up.
Wrapped up. Do you have the Far Side calendar?
Yeah.
Did
I
you
saw
see
them.
the mummy one from October 23rd or 4th?
Yeah, I was
where
trying
the
to
guy's
remember
using
that.
the toilet paper. He thinks he's getting
Yes.
toilet paper.
He's in the stall
Yeah.
next to
And
the
he said
mummy.
the
and
next
he
thing,
got the toilet paper
the next
mixed up
thing
with
he
the
felt
mummy's
the
wrap.
wrath of an angry mummy.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was the best one. I saved it. Let's see here. Why do people always assume witches are mean and evil?
I haven't seen Wizard of Oz.
No, they all have resting witch face.
It's a little
Risque.
Yeah,
little risque.
just slightly.
If that one's risque, well, this one is the
Then
one
here
here.
we
Oh, that
go.
wasn't the one.
No,
okay.
this is the potential edit out
All right.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This is my favorite one too. It makes
Okay.
me laugh.
Tells us.
I
a
got
lot
the
about
most laughs with this one as I was trying these out at the office today. This is the only one that got any laughs. It's kind of like
Okay,
tonight.
so we're better than
Yeah,
the people at your office.
You at least laughed at me a little bit. So.
Yeah.
But not really at me, with me. It was more at me. But okay, here we go. Why won't monsters eat a ghost?
Why won't monsters eat a ghost?
Well, I wouldn't eat a ghost.
They taste like sheet.
All right.
That's a good laugh from Tim. That's a real laugh there.
That reminds me of something
Had a
that's.
flashback.
Yeah.
I just sent Tim to a dark place. We'll pull back the curtains another
It was
time.
not a great week.
That was a very difficult week. But you know what? I'm redeeming my little buddy tonight.
Oh, when he hears this, he's gonna have a little chuckle.
Yeah, as I wrote that joke down out of the 600 I went through today, that one I thought, I know one young man that if this makes it to the air, will really, really enjoy it. And your response confirms my thoughts on that.
You better believe it.
Well, thanks for ruining Halloween, guys.
Well, that
I mean,
was
Tim brings a Halloween thing last week about candy, and it's like, oh, this is so good. Tell a few jokes, good
We didn't
jokes.
say it was bad. It
that
was just
was-
a lot
these
of
were like-
pressure.
It was really.
I mean, I
something.
feel
There's a
like
lot of
Trump.
pressure to
These
laugh.
were the best jokes.
It was something.
But you can't laugh when you're supposed to.
No, it was pretty good. Tim,
Laugh
you
on
lose.
cue. I'm not an actor.
I lost.
No.
Drew clearly has the most restraint.
It would not be any more true if the reactions hadn't been like they were tonight, because it feels like the last 25 years of our friendships. Me trying to tell jokes and y'all looking at me, sometimes with shame, sometimes with disappointment, and
always
sometimes
getting a
like,
cheap laugh from me.
Why does this guy keep telling jokes?
No, we think you're funny.
Me taking my glasses off because I've started crying.
Yeah, I hadn't got your glasses off tonight. That'll happen before the night's over, maybe.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Drew. Yeah, take
it
over.
away, Drew.
I hope your segment's good.
How up to date are you guys on Saudi Arabia?
familiar with it.
A lot of oil
They
down
got
there.
a king.
Sand.
They have oil.
A lot of sand.
A lot of sand.
They hate women.
Yep.
They wear
Robes.
robes. Speaking of ghosts, they kind of dress like ghosts.
They do.
I heard this afternoon. I didn't do a lot of reading
Don't they
on
have
it.
sheiks? Is that where the sheiks are? Is in
Sounds right.
Saudi Arabia? Is that right? Saudi
Apparently-
or Saudi?
I'm going to say Saudi.
Let's do
for
it.
the rest
Yeah.
of this segment. It sounds smarter.
I agree.
I'm not sure if it is.
Well, and we
proper.
need intelligence after that last segment.
There is a building project called the Mukaab. It's an architectural project to build a 400-meter. Of course, nobody knows what a meter is, so let me give that to you in feet. 1,300-foot tall. That's half a mile, right? Cube-shaped, which means it's that much wide.
1,300 feet is not half a mile.
No.
Miles 2,500,
5,200.
5,200.
So it's a
Okay,
it's
so-
a quarter mile.
So
Let's leave the math
it's my
to Tim.
turn to feel
Let's
dumb
leave the
tonight.
math to Tim.
It's
Yeah.
a quarter mile.
Quarter
It's
mile.
a quarter mile.
Yeah.
A quarter mile.
Almost a mile.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said quarter mile.
Yeah.
Note to editor, start tape now.
We've now laughed more during this segment than we did during mine.
13. It's 1,300 foot, okay? 1,300 feet tall, cube-shaped skyscraper. So cube, I do know this from geometry, that a cube is the same length on every side. So it's as wide as it is tall.
Wait, so this thing's 1,300 feet wide, 1,300 feet deep,
And 1,300 feet tall.
How many total square feet is in that?
In the district of Riyadh, one of the 5 neighborhoods of the planned real estate development of New Mukaab. Launched in February 2023, its cuboidal layout and design are inspired by the Mukaab Palace. It was announced, as I said, in February 2023. The design has been subject to some criticism for its similarity to the Kaaba, if you're familiar with that in Mecca. That's the holy relic that once a year Muslims travel to and encircle and chant. You might have seen that. But that's why it's cube-shaped. Mm-hmm. The interior, as currently planned, will feature enormous holographic projections aimed at making viewers feel as if they're in different realities, times, and places.
No,
The interior will
weird.
also feature a swirling tower for observation decks and restaurants from which the projections will emanate. It's planned to be the centerpiece of a new giant downtown built within the capital of Riyadh called New Mukaab. It'll be the world's largest single-built structure with around 2 million square meters, 22 million square feet of interior floor space. Just let that sink in. 22 million square feet.
So in the middle of it, there's going to be, what did they say it was going to have in the middle of it?
This
Like
holographic projector aimed at making viewers feel as if they're in different realities, times, and places.
But then some kind of tower in the middle that's
A swirling tower
swirling
for
tower.
observation decks and restaurants.
all right.
It's going to be... This is a Wikipedia article, and it repeats itself quite a bit. The plan is to finish it in 2030, which is the date on which they're going to finish a lot of projects. They say, let me see if I can find some of the other projects they're doing as a part of the Saudi Vision 2030.
That has a cutaway with
Yeah.
the thing inside it or whatever.
So are they going to update everything around this, or is this just going to be a really, really super fancy modern cube
that looks like it dwarfs everything around
that's
it, right?
surrounded by... Because I think about like when we go to Peru, right? There's these palatial government buildings like next to buildings that are essentially mud huts and crumbling.
That's
You've
not
been
what
there.
this is going to be. This is a new city.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the
So they're
center of
building a
New
new
Mukaab.
city. New Mukaab.
And they're talking about just hundreds of thousands of people living in this cube.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be on a cruise ship with a few thousand people. Sure don't want to live in a cube with 100,000
It's
people.
crazy. It's
Can
crazy.
you imagine like trying to get in and out of that place?
It'd be like trying to get in and out of
Right.
Oliver Crossing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think everything
Maybe
that you
they'd have a
need is
traffic
going to be
light,
in this.
though.
This will
But
be
they
like
have
a
2
contained
entrances.
city.
So, like everything's within the cube.
Yeah,
I believe
you
so.
Just live in the cube.
You just live in the cube.
Oh man.
And
That
it's
sounds
one
awful.
of numerous big construction projects that they are building in Saudi Arabia that are targeted for 2030.
Listen, if you
We'll
have
see if they get it done.
if you have enough oil, you got more money and you know what to do with.
And it's not like they got to clear trees for
like
this
the- it's like the
project. I mean,
Beverly
it's already
Hillbillies.
It's already cleared.
foundations laid.
Well, first we're gonna have to clear cut this. Well, that we're done.
They just get a leaf blower. And,
That's right.
Nobody has
All
a
done.
chainsaw in Saudi Arabia.
We're all prepped.
yeah. I just can't, like, just the size of that. I'm trying to think of a building around here that's 1,300 feet long. I mean, that's a huge building.
If my math is correct, that's a quarter mile. 5,280. I just switched numbers around. It was the
that's
right
okay.
numbers.
Yeah, you're just slightly
2,580, 5,280. What's the difference?
Yeah,
Yeah, about half a mile.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
It's a big building, okay? And it's
So-
in a cube.
And they're saying it'll house 100,000 people or so.
That's what I heard from a different source.
Good grief.
I pulled up the Wikipedia page, which was the wrong move.
Mukaab, the cube.
It's going to this is something I didn't say. It's going to cost 50 billion
50 billion.
with a B.
That's with a B, boys and girls. $50 billion.
It's crazy. Be watching for it. We'll keep everybody updated on
Yeah,
I
passages.
bet they'll have
think we
some
need to-
really. I bet they'll have some really cool T-shirts and merch for the cube. Cube Life.
Or are they moving in the direction of Dubai here? Is this? Do they see just across the border all the economical developments in the UAE, and are they thinking?
I think they're like,
we could learn a few things from these
step up
guys.
the game here. We got to build something that'll take care of those old dubs over in Dubai.
Speaking of Dubai, do you know the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
And do
This is
not.
gonna be bad.
The people in Dubai do not like the Flintstones, but the people in Abu Dhabi do.
You went
told
through
that
that
one
whole
before.
list, and the off the cuff was the best joke.
That was a good one.
You're welcome.
You redeemed yourself.
Well, Passages will be your home for updates on Mukaab.
Mukaab.
Let's hope it doesn't turn into macabre.
Oh,
That would
there's
be
another
That would get dark if it went that
wordplay,
direction. Yeah,
Jason. You're on fire tonight.
You must be
Yeah.
butter.
It's probably all
You're
the
on a
caffeine
roll.
I've had tonight.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with our bad preacher clip.
Right.
It's time for bad preachers.
Bad preachers.
Put your hand on that television set.
And you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
Isn't that something called a moshoko domazata?
That's my favorite. That video.
Could it be?
Yes, third week in a row. I think we're gonna keep this up for a while. It's a lot
big
of
fan.
fun.
Well, there's a lot of bad preacher videos out there for us to go through.
There is. This is Tony Hudson. I've been seeing clips of his for a while. He's quite the character, and I really don't. There's a little insensitivity in this demonstration he does for his church. So I'm
And a
just-
little poor sound quality. Don't-
he's-
yeah, excuse the sound quality.
He's doing this in the middle of his sermon. Hey,
Right, this is in a church building.
On Sunday morning.
Talk about saving us. What if we don't want to be saved? They talk about reaching us. What if we don't want to behave? I want to be different. I want to be different. I want to be different. Just like everyone else. I want to be different.
time for our Bad Preachers segment.
Bad Preachers.
Put your hand on that television.
Put your hand on it.
And you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
Patrick Birch, that's for you.
Isn't that something called a
Could it be Satan?
All right, I promise one day I'll cut that down a little bit, but it's very tempting.
I don't know what you cut out of there.
Not as long as we do Bad Preachers.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of that segment.
Y'all are the only people I'm trying to impress anyway. The clip I got, it's a good one, but I have to warn everybody that the sound quality is bad. It's only coming out of one of the speakers.
And there's some sensitivity issues here. You may need to get your safety blanket or something.
Emotional support duck.
Yeah. Horse.
If you got a horse in the house.
Dog, that's it.
Right.
Get your miniature pony. This guy gets a little offensive.
Right. Disclaimer, Passages does not endorse the speakers on the Bad Preacher segment.
We just report the news, folks.
That's right. That's all we do. Here we go. Tony Hudson.
You can't even go to the fair, can't go to a rodeo. Such a way, all that is satanic. Old Chuck Norris thinks he can be Indian and Christian. You can't do it both, Big Daddy. It's either Jesus or the totem pole. Witch doctor. If that's Christian, look up in here. I'm an astronaut. Help me. Oh, yeah. Now, look at me. If you're ticked off because the Cowboys won, you probably voted for Obama.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there.
That went a lot of places in just a second.
Do we start
Wasn't
at the
politically
top?
correct. Let's just start with that.
I don't think it was correct in any way.
It wasn't biblically correct, politically correct, socially correct.
So my first question is, number one, I have been to a lot of rodeos. I will be going to one in a few weeks, probably. I'm going to one in two in January.
And you've never seen anything like that?
What do you think of the Indian chant segment?
I have never been to a rodeo where I heard someone come out and chant like that. And I surely have never seen a totem pole at the rodeo.
Well,
now, you know
Totem,
what I have seen? I've seen them lead prayer. I've seen them sing the national anthem. Never chant.
Ride a bull.
Never seen them chant like that.
Clearly, they go for Jesus
So
over
rodeos,
the totem pole.
What rodeos is he going to?
And fairs.
Fair.
He said you can't go to a
Fairs
fair or a rodeo
rodeo
without that.
Guys, there's a carnival right now in Moody. I'm pretty sure we could go down there and listen, and we would not hear that.
Now, I saw a few episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. Chuck Norris does not look like a Native American to me. So
No.
there's an inaccuracy.
Now, he wears moccasins, I'm pretty sure. But I
Okay,
mean,
is that part of his thing?
no, I think that's just his footwear of choice. But he's no Indian outlaw. He's not half Cherokee or Choctaw.
I don't know. I just know
This
that
is
he doesn't do
the
push-ups. He pushes the world down.
He's
That's
one of a
all I
kind.
know. He's fair-haired.
He is.
You know,
And-
Listen, I'm telling you.
He's the only person that can win tic-tac-toe in 3 moves.
nuts.
Connect 4 in 3 moves.
Tic-tac-toe in 3 moves.
2 moves.
You were on a nice roll
I'm
tonight.
falling apart.
well, I didn't prepare y'all by saying there was going to be a Chuck
Man, if I'd have known there was Chuck Norris, I'd have really came
Drew,
prepared.
I mean, Jason, how many feet are in a mile?
Oh, okay.
I got that math down.
All right.
But how did the Cowboys come into this? The Dallas Cowboys.
Because they always play the Redskins. And this is a dated
But he
video.
said if you
he was
pull
talking-
for the Cowboys,
He was talking about the Cowboys and Indians, right?
I thought he
like-
said if you're upset that the Cowboys won,
I thought it was Cowboys and Indians, right? The Cowboys
well, it sounds like we need a replay.
I thought he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Maybe like a whole Trail of Tears kind of thing or something.
I have a lot of reservations about this.
Oh, no.
I'm going to have to start at the beginning. I'm so sorry.
You can't even go to the fair, can't go to a rodeo.
No, that's not true. That's false news, fake news,
misinformation.
I've been to Cherokee, North Carolina, and didn't hear that.
What did he say right there? Such a way.
Oh, Chuck Norris thinks he can be Indian and Christian. You can't do it both, Big Daddy. It's either Jesus or the totem pole. Witch doctor. If that's Christian, look up in here. I'm an astronaut. Help me. Oh, yeah. Now, look at me. If you're ticked off because the Cowboys won, you probably voted for Obama.
See, that means the Redskins lost.
Well, maybe.
And he's putting down people who are for Native Americans.
Yeah.
Or who are Native Americans.
But when you were back in the backyard, what were you playing? Cowboys and Indians.
And why would you be upset?
I think it applies
Cowboys
there
won?
as well.
Is he supporting Obama or is he anti-Obama?
He said if you're upset that the Cowboys beat the Indians, so if you're an Indian sympathizer,
okay. I see what you're saying.
Then you probably, and it's a long ways to the next dot of Obama, but that somehow means that somehow exposes you that you voted for Obama.
Tim, you've been to India multiple times. Have you ever heard anyone in India chant like that?
No.
That's an excellent question.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
So
in India, maybe it was a different part of India than the one you traveled to. It's a big country.
It is, but none of that in Bangalore. So
do you want to do an Indian impression or song? What do the true Indian songs sound like?
No.
I thought he was about to try it. I was like, no.
My nerves just went up really, really. I was like, I'm glad we're not going live if this pops out. And this will be the last show you've ever heard.
Yeah, that was not good.
Can you imagine when I go to church on Sundays, I show up with my Bible. I'm prepared to worship, right? The minister gets up, in this case, it's you, Drew, and I get my notebook out and I'm preparing to take notes. I write down my sermon title, the verse, your name, the date, underline the sermon title, ready for point 1. And point 1 is, have you been to any rodeos or fairs and heard this noise? It's like, what?
It's satanic.
You can't be a witch
lot of
doctor.
These guys are just so frustrated and so mad that the world has changed as it has.
Man.
So racist and prejudiced that they're just angry all the time and they will say anything.
Well, and it's ridiculous. And man, the last thing that's going to go through his mind before he dies?
Chuck Norris' fist.
Or his foot. One of the two for sure.
Y'all ready for that one? That had to have been rehearsed.
Can't you envision like the doors at the back of his church being ripped off the hinges and there stands Chuck
that
Norris?
would be great.
And the music starts, the eyes of the ranger are upon you.
That would be a great mashup if somebody is listening who's good at YouTube stuff. Get this clip, get a Chuck Norris clip. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, that would be outstanding.
Use a little AI.
So, okay, here's another question. Is this clip from 1980 something, or is this?
It's really impossible to tell.
So look at his clothing, the people in the audience.
It was uploaded 11 months ago. Yeah, it doesn't look too old, but he's talking about Obama.
Oh, that's true.
It sounds pre-Trump.
It's got to be within the last 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are preaching like that, and people are amening them from the pews.
Yeah. This is one of those guys that demands the amen. I saw another clip where he was yelling at people who were looking down. He'd make eye contact and somebody looking down. He said, "Look at me. Look at me." He was screaming at him.
Did he say, "I am the captain now"?
He might as well.
That's from a movie. Y'all probably haven't seen that one. I don't guess.
If I've seen it, I've forgotten it.
Captain Phillips.
Oh, no, I never got around to that one.
Oh, that's an intense movie. But the guy always he said, look at me. That's what he would say.
Is that Tom Hanks?
No, the bad character.
Oh, the bad one.
Yeah, I would have to leave if that was going on at church.
Yeah.
Why don't you ever ask for amens? I mean, you get some. Why haven't you
Well, if
ever
you gotta
said,
ask
can I get
for
an
it,
amen? then obviously
false.
didn't land it. It's like one of my jokes earlier. It just didn't land.
Right. Yeah, if you got to ask for it, you don't deserve it. I mean, it's not genuine. It's got to be genuine. Besides, he doesn't say amen. He says, Hayman.
Amen.
It's Hayman. Anyway, I think next week we need to swing over to the progressive side.
Oh, I'm all.
There's probably a lot of great mega church gaffes, crazy things that are done on that end of the spectrum. Because we have leaned toward the fundamentalist.
Yeah, we need something.
We
need something that has a little ethereal music playing behind it, and the guy just makes a major gaffe.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it'd be
out there.
like, was it? We did it. We did a segment on the guy that railed against Starbucks, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that would be the.
He's kind of on the fundamentalist side, though. I'm telling you, he wasn't touchy feely.
Oh,
he was a strange
but I
bird.
pictured him as being in the mega church world.
Yeah, but he was railing against Starbucks. I'm talking about somebody in skinny jeans.
Oh, yeah.
I've got somebody in mind.
Okay, but we may need to come back to Tony Hudson because I wanted to see what he looked like. So I went
Did you see?
Went to YouTube and found "Y'all Gonna Tick Me Off and I'll Preach Mad" is the title.
You
want
to play it? Are you hooked up to the Bluetooth?
Let's save this one.
Okay.
It's an excerpt from a sermon. A good church is like a good woman, which sounds like a really dumb title. That one that would get you in trouble with all the women,
Yes.
right? Because
Well,
there's
they're
going to be something
Not
there.
very respectful of women in his
yeah.
tribe, if we want to use that term.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he also does this thing, and it looks like he does it in just about every sermon, where he'll chug an entire bottle of water in like
What's his
2
name?
seconds. Tony Hudson, Hutson. And when he gets done, he'll sprinkle the last few drops on top of his head.
Oh, nice.
And he's quite a performer. There's a lot of clips of him out there. It's pretty entertaining.
He was in Murfreesboro. I live not far from there.
Well, now I've got Tim and Jason just looking
I'm
at their
mesmerized.
phones. So
I think we talked. Maybe we even used this one. Had to do with ladies not being able to sew things back on. I think that's what he's talking about in this clip that I just pulled up, like not being able to sew buttons back on. Didn't we do one about
man.
a clip
I don't
like
remember
or
that.
something?
Some of these little
All right,
short
we'll
clips
come back to that one.
Wow.
yeah,
I'm looking at the subtitles. It's like, yikes.
yeah. There's a lot there, and future episodes. This segment has potential for
This
a
guy
lot
just-
more stuff.
I'm reading the subtitles, and he said, the verse says, "Be ye angry." I like that verse.
Yeah.
He just cut it off
Yeah,
right
he
there.
cuts off the and sin not.
Yeah.
I like that verse.
Be ye angry. I like that verse.
Oh me. All
Yeah,
right.
that's some good exegesis there.
Yeah, I'll hold on to that one right
Yeah,
there.
we'll have more in the future.
All right.
All right, let's take a little break and we'll come back for our passage.
Just like Kurt Cobain, but you don't want to go through the pain, and you want to feel good, and you want everyone to understand. I want to be different. I want to be different. I want to be different, just like everyone else. I want to be different. I want to be
Welcome
different.
back. We're glad you're still with us. We are ready to go with our passage this week. Tim's going to read it for us.
All right. This passage is from the American philosopher Eric Hoffer, and the passage is, "The beginning of thought is in disagreement, not only with others, but also with ourselves." The beginning of thought is in disagreement, not only with others, but also with ourselves.
A little twist there at the end of that one. Yeah. Wouldn't expect somebody to recommend disagreeing with yourself.
With yourself, right?
But I see it as an important instruction to have critical thinking, to not just embrace everything, that comes your way, or accept what you've grown up always believing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When I first read this, I thought about I guess a lot of it with the politics that are going on today of surrounding yourself by yes men is a very dangerous thing, where everybody just parrots what you're saying and tells you you're the greatest thinker in the world, and how dangerous that is and how much that limits true thought and intelligence, because you gain intelligence by fighting resistance, by arguing your point, by having a disagreement and comparing notes. And I think both as Christians, but as just normal human beings, if we're not feeling resistance to something we're doing or saying, then we've got to be really careful of, are we really in a good place thought-wise? Are we challenging ourselves? Are we, I don't know. I just think about surrounding yourself by people that always agree and echo what you say. That's not a good place. You can't grow there. You don't ever grow in that setting.
Yeah, and you mentioned like politicians, so people that start with like something in common, right? Maybe a similar set of values or something like that. But the challenge for the everyday person is we make friends, we create social groups, and a lot of times those are people who have a lot of similarities to us. And so sometimes we create these social groups, and if we're not careful, we just become yes men for one another, right? And
we're unaware of other perspectives,
right,
or other, things that are true, and our own falsehoods. I think this is a really timely passage for us to discuss, because it comes from another time. I think our time, once Jason gets his glasses out of the microphone.
Sorry, I was putting them on and missed my nose and hit the microphone.
We live in an era where disagreement is unacceptable. People don't believe in dialogue. If you don't agree with me, I don't want to talk to you. You're a total enemy. You're a demon.
I'll cancel you.
I'll cancel you. And it's very rare to see an authentic conversation between people who disagree,
right, and
who can disagree without it becoming emotional.
Disagreement equals sometimes hate speech, right? You have to hate me if you don't agree with me, right? There's no in between, right? It's either we are either in agreement and we are on the same side, or you are the enemy, right?
And there's only one reason for that in my mind, and that is, if I'm afraid for you to disagree with me, then I'm not really sure I believe what I believe. Well, I'm not really sure what I believe is true.
Yeah.
Because if I was very convicted about what I believe, anybody could test it and it would come through. It would survive the test. But if I have doubts about it and I really want to keep believing it, and believing it becomes more important than knowing the truth, I'm going to protect it. I'm going to keep it from being challenged and tested, and I'm not going to grow.
Well, I think true tolerance requires disagreement. You can't have tolerance for other people without having active disagreement. So if you and I have totally different ideals and thoughts on something, in order for me to tolerate you and your ideals, I have to be okay that we disagree, and we have to be okay being able to challenge each other's thoughts and concepts. And that's how we grow. That's how we learn to work through those things. Intolerance is, I can't listen to what you're saying. Everything you're saying is 100% false, and I won't even give you the time of day.
And you're not only need to agree with me, you need to embrace what I'm saying.
And that's,
that's the world we live in now.
And that's a scary place to live, because only in disagreements can we truly find answers to what's going on, because I surely don't have all the right answers. You don't have all the right answers. Tim doesn't have all the answers. Kamala does not have all the right answers. Trump does not have all the right answers. We're one big group of broken, messed up people that get some things right and some things wrong. And we've got, in order to have tolerance of each other, we have to be willing and okay with, you know what, we disagree on this. I can still respect you as a person. Let's have a conversation about it. And at the end of the day, I may not change your mind. You probably won't change my mind, but I can still go and eat a pizza with you or have a cup of coffee and be civil.
And even if it doesn't change your mind, it can sharpen your position, strengthen your position.
That's exactly right.
It may give you cause to go back and rethink your position, or, you know, study more about it, or, you know, whatever it might be. But, you know, I think back to, and I don't want to paint this, you know, as being, you know, something that was perfect, but there was a time when people would engage in debate with one another, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, and it was a formal, thought out process. Doesn't happen that much anymore. Happens from time to time, but just, you know, in general, that whole idea is, let's get together and lay this out. And by definition, we're going to, you know, we're coming from different views, and let's see who has the stronger argument, right? But it wasn't based on, you know, you're my enemy in order to do that. Now, I know sometimes debates would, you know, be heated, and whether it's a religious debate or some other type of debate, I mean, we see the presidential debates or whatever, and that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about, you know, there's some premise that's being set out there, mm-hmm. and someone's arguing for and against it.
Like you're trying to get to the bottom of some issue.
Right. And so, you know, I fear that in the large, we're not that good at being critical thinkers anymore. And that doesn't bode well for us, because that doesn't help us to grow and be, you know, deeper in our thinking and our convictions. It's just, here's my position, and I will gather all of those who are like me to be on my side, and might makes right.
And that's where that second half of the quote, I think, comes in to be so important, that we disagree not only with others but also with ourselves. So at 45 years old, I think a lot differently about just about everything than I did 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And some of that is life experience has forced me to disagree with my old way of thinking. And I've had to, through those experiences and through these internal debates, really try to come to grips with, what do I really believe when it comes to this one thing? And if we're not open to do that, then it's either we have pride and we think we're so smart that we can't be wrong, which is terrifying, or we're not serious enough about changing ourselves or bettering ourselves, and we're just too lazy to do the work. I think pride is the biggest thing that keeps us from having these disagreements, the fear of being wrong. We don't want to be wrong. We want to always be right.
Pride is the hardest prison to break out of, because you don't realize you're locked up.
That's right.
You're blind.
Yeah.
You can't see. And that's exactly the situation this quotation is trying to avoid. You've got to be able to disagree with yourself. Okay, I've always believed this, but is it really true?
Right.
It's a scary thing, because we're comfortable where we are. Mm-hmm. And we maybe, even if we're in a bad place, we get comfortable with it. And we don't realize how much better it could be. And growth hurts. And it separates friends sometimes. So that makes it hard too. But critical thinking is all about, I'm not going to assume everything that I've heard is true. I'm going to fact check myself, to use a buzzword that's used these days.
And you know, a lot of times we will even claim to be a person who's like this. Well, if you can prove me that if you prove me that I'm wrong, I'll be glad to change or whatever, and it's just lip service, right?
Yeah.
It's, I'm saying that because I'm so sure that I'm right that I know there's no need for me to change, right? And so, I will say that, so that, to seem civil in this conversation, but I'm so firmly convinced I'm right. I'll never move from this position, right? So sometimes we say it, but we don't really mean those kinds of things.
And I think that's one of the things that limits the spread of the gospel too, right? Is so often we'll have a disagreement with something gospel related, good news related, church related, and either we're in the fault of, well, this has always been how I've been taught, this is what my parents taught me, this is what their parents taught us, that we're so caught up on the way we learned, and I say we as just in general, the people that are studying, that we won't even look at the true facts and let Scripture, if Scripture goes against what our tradition has told us, how often will we say, well, but that's not the way I always learned it. I'm going to stick over here where I'm comfortable. And it makes disagreement. It makes having these discussions. It inhibits our growth. Man, I wish I had read this quote 20 years ago, because the adage, the more I know, the less I know. It's amazing how much I thought I had figured out at 20 and 25 that I had no clue about. And at 40, 45, I'm just now trying to really solidify my thinking on a lot of life's kind of major things. I don't know. I really liked this quote.
I think it's important to add that you can disagree without being disagreeable.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Peter says that, 1 Peter 3:15, always be prepared to give a reason for the hope that's in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect. And if you're being disagreeable, then you're not willing to disagree with yourself.
That's right.
That's that fear coming out again of, I might have to change if I look at the evidence. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hide behind this vitriol and righteous indignation and going to be off-putting to anybody who might disagree with me to strengthen my position that I'm afraid is really weak. I think the people who are really convicted are always calm. They feel secure. They're not worried. They're not anxious. They can hear opposing points of view because they have looked into it, they've challenged themselves, and they've arrived at the best possible answer. Mm-hmm. And another thing I was going to say is life is so complicated, it is impossible to avoid disagreements. How many just issues involving church, how many of those issues will never be settled because we don't really know the answer? Mm-hmm. And we fight over it and we discuss it as if everybody's going to come over to my side. Mm-hmm. No, that's impossible. Nobody knows the answer. So there's always going to be people on both sides because this is really complicated stuff. And the deeper you go, the more you're going to run into that kind of thing. Right. And you eventually have to be okay with a little mystery out there, a few loose ends.
Well, and if you go into disagreements with the preconception that you're always right, then you probably shouldn't be in the disagreements. You have got to go in with conviction. You should be convicted of what your belief is.
You believe it for a reason.
But you cannot go into... I think it was the example one of you was given where they go in to have this discussion and I'll pay you lip service, but I'm never going to change because I know I'm right. If you go into it with that attitude, you're limiting your thought, you're limiting your growth, you're limiting your ability to connect with other people, because there's connection in disagreement too, right? There's a lot of mutual respect between two parties that disagree and can have intelligent, calm conversation about it.
Right.
That builds a level of relationship that you don't get in other settings.
That's right. It does. When you can feel comfortable disagreeing with one another, it takes your relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Because, just our basic, sort of, I have, you're a basic acquaintance of mine or whatever, we're going to talk about the weather and football and things like that.
Superficial stuff.
We're not going to get into this thing. And, but when we're trying to work through hard things and we can do that constructively without offending one another, though that is a relationship that is, to me, a next level relationship. What do you think Proverbs 27:17 means? Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. How can that happen if all we're doing is just patting each other on the back all the time, right? And we're not really trying to sharpen one another. There's some kind of friction going on for sharpening to occur, right?
Knives get dull in the mud. Whenever you're not challenging, you're not sharpening. If it's going up against something soft and malleable, it's going to get dull.
Yeah.
So you need a flint or another knife to sharpen that. And I like the word you use, friction. You've got to be okay with a little friction. And I think that's what these days people are afraid of. Friction automatically means antagonism.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to get that out of our minds. And part of the problem is a lot of times the other person is being antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
And do we pull social media in here where people are mediated through screens, and so they forget they're talking to human beings, and so they use demeaning language, and disagreements just turn into unproductive fights.
Worst medium to have a disagreeing discussion is social media.
I agree
Email,
with that, yeah.
The only way to truly have a good discussion like that is in person or on the phone. And in person is how I think you need to have it, face-to-face with somebody.
Right.
Makes all the difference, right?
Well, it does.
Because you're reminded this is a human being with emotions.
That's right.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot more real when you're throwing out stupid comments that are just inflammatory, that you would never say in the presence of another person.
One thing that I wanted to throw out around this, and it sort of takes it back from this personal level to like what we see in the world, and you mentioned social media. When you flip on your TV, probably for the last, I'd say 10 or 15 years, I think we've been moving away from people gathering with people they disagree with, right? I think about things like, these talk shows, right? So a lot of times these group talk shows, they only have people on who hold their view of the world or opinions or political stances or whatever. Late night television has turned very much into that. It's not the Johnny Carson show anymore, right? With just everybody who's popular, coming in and talking about their lives and stuff. It is very much who's my kind of person, right?
Yeah.
And so if every time we see someone sort of step out of that group, you see them, hey, I've got a new book or I've got a new movie or whatever. They're not making the rounds. There's pain. But I think in the last year or two, I've begun to see a little bit of a swing, and it's small, but I think that eventually you have to come to the point where, that's entertainment, right? That we're talking about there. It's not entertaining for everybody just to have the same opinion about. That's called boring. Right. And so, there's been a few glimpses that I've seen. One that I saw not too long ago, Bill O'Reilly shows up on Jon Stewart's show, right? Mm-hmm. Two guys that are diametrically opposed, but they appear to be pretty good friends in some sense. They rub each other the wrong way, but they get together. I mention this guy from time to time, not because, and I always have to say, not because I necessarily agree with him. Bill Maher is a guy who will have people of some diverse opinions, and he's really hacking off some of the people who feel like he's supposed to be in their camp, but he's throwing out some alternative ideas. And he's saying, hey, guys over here, you're not always right. And you're getting so weird that the world is not with you anymore. You know, even the world thinks you're weird, right? And I'm talking about the world in a worldly sense there, right? And so, you know, you're going so far off the deep end, you're losing perspective and things like that. But he will have people on. I saw a clip today of him. He had Megyn Kelly on, right? Megyn Kelly's another fairly conservative person. And they were they were going back and forth pretty hard. But I think what they're beginning to find, you know, and even in just the last couple of days, you had Joe Rogan had President Trump on. And Joe Rogan is not a President Trump supporter. Now, I'm not exactly sure what he is. I don't think
he's not a conservative, though.
No, he's not at all.
He's a California liberal.
That's right. And he moved out of California, moved to Texas, so he's sort of backing away from that a little bit, but he's not a conservative. He's not a MAGA conservative or something, right?
Right.
And so, but he had him on because, and did 3 hours with President Trump because it was interesting discussion. And because it's interesting when people disagree about things and talk about it and have different viewpoints and things like that. I just wonder if we're going to begin to see that twist, because this whole just, group think kind of thing, it's not good. It's not healthy, and it's boring.
Well, we've seen both candidates patch together people from across the aisle. And that's fine for a campaign when everything is just about the optics. But let's see, whoever gets into the Oval Office, let's see who gets on their cabinet, and let's see how long they stay on that cabinet.
Right.
Is RFK going to be on Trump's cabinet, and are they going to be able to get along with each other past the first 100 days?
Right.
That's going to show how authentic this really is.
And will any of these folks get into a position where they have some level of power over something that they and whoever the president is disagree on, right? So do I throw you into something, but basically I sort of niche you into a job where it's something we agree on?
But I do think that Trump, the politician, the guy out running campaigns, is totally different from Trump, the businessman. I think Trump knows that people are going to disagree with him. And I think he can find smart people to surround himself to work with and listen to that. Going back to what you were talking about with the Rogan, I was doing a quick search. The back and forth, there was some disagreement. Rogan didn't agree with everything Trump said, and they don't agree on everything. 27 million views on YouTube, and that was from 3 days ago.
And that's just YouTube. He's put it up on YouTube. There was a news story out today where YouTube has been making it harder for people to find that episode. And so he's put it up on Twitter.
Yeah. But that's an example of the power of being willing to disagree. And where the national media has moved away from that, I think the space where you see room for disagreements now is in the podcast world. Now, ours never has a disagreement. Well, we may have disagreed on here a couple of times. I don't know. I know the three of us have disagreed on things in the past, but I do think it's interesting that the podcast media is where a lot of that goes, because I listen to a ton of podcasts, and there's a lot of uncomfortable interviews with people that don't really see eye to eye, but they're willing to listen to one another, and they're really interesting. And I think you learn a lot from them.
Absolutely.
I do too. So the bottom line, folks, is disagree more often.
Embrace it and be comfortable with it.
But most of all, disagree with yourself.
And don't be disagreeable.
That's right.
Without being disagreeable.
But don't be a jerk about it.
Just ask, I think another way of putting it is ask questions.
Yeah.
Well, why have I always believed this? Where did this come from?
Can you show me that? Can you show me where you got that idea? That's a huge one to me. Show me where that came from.
But ask yourself questions, right? Yeah. Ask yourself questions. Why do I believe this?
Why did I choose to tell jokes?
Right. That's a great question.
Why did Jason tell Halloween jokes? Well, it's because tomorrow is All Hallows Eve, and we hope everyone is going to be safe out there with their trick-or-treating. We hope that you don't get any apples or
canned goods.
Tootsie
Rolls.
Or dots.
Or dots. I will tell you that on the Layton table right now, I believe there are some Tootsie Rolls and some dots.
I'm glad
but you've got people in your house who will eat them, at least.
Yeah.
Strange and a few mice.
But listen, we had to buy some filler because, you know, I know we're bringing this to a close, but yeah, wow.
It's gone up.
We had this discussion.
No inflation, Tim.
Right. So it's like, we know there's going to be a lot of people coming to our house. Millie placed an order at Sam's so that we could buy in bulk. They loaded up the back of my car with candy, and I came home and unloaded it all. And I said, hey, how much did this cost? And she said, let's not talk about it.
Oh, no.
It's not cheap.
That's not good.
No.
That is not good.
It is not good. But you know what I did? I didn't talk about it because I know it's bad.
You live in the OC.
And I said, yeah.
Part of your dues.
This is the deal, right?
It is, yeah.
So, yeah, come to the house tomorrow night. And
sounds like Tim's got candy for all.
I've got candy.
I will not be there.
I know.
And if we're not seeing you tomorrow night on All Hallows Eve, we hope that we'll pick you up next week in our next episode of Passages.
Follow us on Instagram at Passages_podcast and join us next time on Passages.